Hello everyone, it's Kathy the Backyard Stamper, and I'm very excited to bring you another episode of Craft Your Stash. So tonight we're going to be making a fun chocolate bunny Easter card. And it's a blast from the past, but I have some samples to show you where you can recreate the card with current product. So let's flip the camera and we'll get started. Okay, so I was looking through my Easter cards to see if I had enough made or if I had to make some more, and I found this one. This card here is pretty old. I'm gonna say it's probably 15 years old. So but it uses this cute bunny stamp, which I embossed in brown, so it looks just like a Cadbury bunny. Not a Cadbury, a Lindt chocolate. So this is the chocolate bunny stamp. That's actually the name of the set, Chocolate Bunny. And it was a one stamp set. So that's what we're going to use tonight. So on my blog, after the live gets finished, you can head over and you'll be able to print out a PDF for free that has all the measurements and has the sample that we're going to make tonight, as well as some other samples here that I wanted to show you. So you'll be able to just click on that video button there and be able to re-watch. But I wanted to show you so you don't have to write all the measurements down, because you can go over to backyardstamper.com and print it out for free. All right, so this was my inspiration, and this is the card we're going to make tonight. And on my sample, I forgot to put my ribbon on, so don't let me forget. All right, so let's see here. Let me get out all my supplies and we will get started. So I'm going to use a couple stamps. All right, so this is Peach Pie, and it's 8.5 by 5.5, and you're just gonna score and fold at 4 1/4. And for my, let me just move these over here and move these over here so I have a little more room right here. Hi Christina, nice to see you. Okay, so this, we have a piece of 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to go on the inside, so I'm going to set that down. And then for my outside, I have, this piece is 2.5 by 3.5. And next is a pink layer. This is the Lily Pond Lane DSP. And this is early espresso. So, back in the day, what's really funny is this is pretty in pink. So that was our regular color, our core color back in the day, and now it's back as an in color. So that's pretty neat. All right, and then we're going to use this piece is 2 by 3. So we've got 2.5 by 3.5, 2 1/4 by 3 1/4, and 2 by 3. And that's going to make my layers. And I love using the designer paper as my layers, because otherwise it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of cardstock. So that's a lot of cardstock. Let me get my tape out, and I'm actually going to use glue here first. Sometimes the Seal Plus tears my paper a little bit, the designer paper, so we're going to just go ahead and let's flip that over and we'll do it like that. Okay. And then I've got, this is also from Lily Pond Lane. It's just this little gray textured. So don't forget to flip your papers over and see what you've got on the back, because between the DSP and the two-tone cardstock, you'll be able to add layers without adding the bulk to your cards. All right, so that's going to go there. Then we need a piece of designer paper, and this is 1.5 by 4 1/4 from Lily Pond Lane. And I'm going to put that across there, and I'm going to just take a piece of Summer Splash, and I've torn it. And remember, when you tear, you want to tear towards you if you want the fibrous look on your tear, versus this one's more smoother. It's, you know, you get the ragged, but you get the texture from when you tear it towards you. So I just took a 3/4 by 4 1/4 and tore it. So I'm going to do that. And then what I like to do is add my adhesive to the torn piece, so that I don't, if you're using the glue, or you can, if you're using tape, you'd want to do it the other way. Just do it however it works for you. And I did not get that on straight, so let me see if I can get it. There we go. All right. So now that's going to go like that. But before I do, let me put my ribbon on, because that's the part I forgot on my sample. And because I folded my card this way, I can't just wrap it around. I had to put the ribbon on before I glued that on. So let's attach a piece of ribbon. I'm going to grab my ribbon scissors, and I'm going to put it right about there. So by adding a little bit of adhesive to the back, you can use glue dots, or I use the Seal Plus. Then I've wrapped my ribbon around, and then I'm going to do a faux bow on the front. So what I mean by a faux bow is kind of like one of those half knots, like so. And then it looks like I wrapped it all around. We'll just trim those up. Okay, and that's my ribbon. Hi, Janet. Yes, it's Thursday, which means it's almost the weekend. Yay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put a glue dot underneath my knot there. So let me get my glue dot box. And I got my little glue dot. I'm just going to put it right under where the knot is, and just make sure that's not going to go anywhere. All right, so tuck that back in. Okay, so now we've got this piece all set, and we're ready to put that on. Here's my focal piece, is going to go right here. So like that, because my chevron, I want it to go that way. So I like it right about there, so I'm going to go ahead and apply my glue. And when you have cardstock or designer paper that goes right to the edge on the folded piece, then you've got to make sure your adhesive gets right to the edge, because otherwise it really wants to lift up on that fold edge there. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that down like so, and we'll let that dry. This piece is going to go on top. Let me set that aside for a moment. All right, now we get to do our bunny. So I'm going to bring out my early espresso ink pad, and I've got a piece of crumb cake, and the trick to this is The crumb cake acts as the bunny's, the part of the bunny, and then the brown, the early espresso, acts like it's his fur. So it's really neat. It would look totally different if that was stamped on white. So I'm going to ink that up and push that down and really give it a good press and hold it, because when you're transferring ink to cardstock versus our basic white, you just want to give it a little extra time because the cardstock needs to absorb the ink. Ooh, doesn't that look just like a Lindt chocolate bunny? Ooh, I love Easter just for the chocolate, right? All right, so let me put that there, and let me grab my spray here. I do like to use my chamois, but I also like to make sure that I'm using the mist and scrubby to get into the nooks and crannies. And you know, I like to do that every once in a while. I don't do it all the time, but yeah. So put that away. Move that out of the way. Now what we have to do is fussy cut. So sorry. It's an easy fussy cut though. Okay, so we're going to just go around. This stamp was back in the day when we had the Sizzix Bigs dies. So that really tells you how old that stamp is. But it still just stamps as beautifully as the day I got it. So, you know, it's definitely a keeper. Okay, see how easy that was? Not too painful. All right, and then, so I'm gonna put that up on dimensionals, which I have right here. I'm so proud of myself. I actually got ready ahead of time, and I double checked my box, so I really had everything in it, instead of getting here and saying, oh my gosh, where's this, where's that? So we'll just take these off. All right. And we're going to put our bunny right smack in the middle. And then, because the bunny's popped up, I'm going to go ahead and just attach this flat. Like so. Let's make sure it's straight. Yep, that looks good to me. All right, and now we want to do our greeting. And I love to use the little strips that are left over from when I trimmed down my whites for the inside. And the stamp I'm using is Happy Easter, and that comes from one of the paper pumpkin kits. So this is from Sweet Springtime, February of 2024. So it had a big bunny and some daffodils and springtime greetings and welcome baby and happy Easter and a little chick that I'm going to show. So don't forget to check your paper pumpkins to see if you have any, if you can't find any greetings and stuff. All right, so I'm going to stamp my Happy Easter. Oops, right on my strip. Let's see here. and that is Summer Splash. I'm going to need that for the inside. We'll go ahead and stamp on the inside. Is that right? Yep. And I've got one from the So Sincere stamp set, which I love and probably will never get rid of because it's got so many great greetings in it. And I'm going to just stamp that down just like so. Hope your day is a happy one. Back in the day, we were all hot to trot about pink, and this was chocolate chip, our color that we had before early espressos. So pink and chocolate chip, or the certainly celery with the chocolate chip, the yellow, so saffron with the chocolate chip. I mean, it was like a big, the big hot colors together. All right, so let me just scrub that real quick. And I need my little chick. This last little chick is going to get stamped in Peach Pie, which sort of looks yellow when you stamp it on white. And that's all I'm going to do to the inside of my card. Let me go ahead and put some Stampin' Seal down. Put that on the inside. All right. So there. Oh, I got to do my greeting. So I have my greeting, and so what I want to do is I just kind of offset that edge, and this one I'm going to tuck under. So I don't have to trim that because my dimensional isn't going to get in the way. So I'm going to grab my dimensionals again, and let's just put 3 on there just to keep it supported. Nope, don't stick to my table. All right, just like so. Oh my gosh, so fun. And then I have some embellishments, and those are my, I did already take them out, so I know they're here. What did I say? I said I got all ready. I'm so proud of myself. And I am. They are here. They were just stuck in between my other samples I'm going to show you. So, okay, so these are the 2024-2026 in color resin dots. So everything that I am using is, except the Chocolate Bunny stamp, is current. And the Lily Pond Lane paper, I forgot to mention, is on the last chance list. So it's on the last chance list, and it is still available. Let's see how much that is. It's marked down to $10 for the DSP. And you know, I never got the stamp set or the dies. I just fussy cut my ducks out. They were really easy to do that. So, okay, we need to put some little bling bling on, and I got a little spot right there, so I definitely want to cover that up. So, let's see here. I'm going to do a green one there, and we'll do some up here to bring in that, keep the green, it's a Summer Splash, sorry, kind of ties it all together. Let's see here. Now I'm going to make my little spot worse than it was. I just want it just a smidge there. How's that? Okay, so that is my Craft Your Stash card. Let me show you some other samples. So here is my original from probably 15 years ago that I saved. and then the one we made tonight, and here's the one I made the other day that I forgot the ribbon on. So it still is cute. I definitely like the ribbon one better. All right, and then, so those are using the lily pond, and then this one uses the Storybook Friends paper, and that's a punch out. I don't have the stamp, so I did the Happy Easter, hope your day's a happy one, and I put a little punch out in there. And this is all from the storybooks. And a friend of mine, Cindy, sent me some die cuts of it, so I could use the frames. But I still did the torn paper. This time I tore the designer paper, so I've got the white edge and some different designer paper. So the Craft Your Stash, yes, you can pull out your oldies but goldies, but I always want to give you a chance to stamp with something current, you know, because that way you can make the cards. So you can do any of these cards and just use one of these bunnies on there from the storybook, or the punch out bunny. So those are some good options. And then I wanted to show you one last thing. So a couple weeks ago we did a card using Toy Box, and it was a texturized, I think we used designer paper. So I had my card class on Saturday, and we used that design to for the class. And so this is Choose Happy, the little bunny, and the postage dies. And this is Pretty in Pink. This color here is Wisteria Wonder. Remember that one? Oh no, this isn't Pretty in Pink. This is Blushing Bride, Wisteria Wonder, and I had Blushing Bride ribbon, and then Pretty in Pink ink to stamp, and use the same stamp. So, you know, I was just, when I was thinking of what kind of card I wanted to make for my class, I'm like, I'm gonna follow that same design. So check back. It's the one that we did a week or so ago. That has oh, here's my PDF. Not episode 2. So we did the slanted one, and then the 3 squares and the layer one. So if you want the measurements to that, go ahead and look for episode 2. And this is just time worn texture or something like that. And if you look close, my words are upside down on this one. But you know what? You can't really even read it. Nobody's going to know that they should look at the words, because it just looks like texture. So let me come back and just let you know that if you want to look at the last chance products, I did print out one, but honestly, by the next day or two, it had changed. There were some things that were already sold out. So I did put on my website today the link to go right to the last chance page on my Stampin' Up website. And the easiest thing that I do is I usually sort it by A to Z, because that way your dies come up with the stamp set, because they're named the same now. They didn't used to be. So I like to see the bundle and then the stamp and the die, and that way you can tell, is it a better price to buy them individually on sale versus the bundle price. So you know, you just do your math. And then the other thing you can do to see what really great deals there are is sort by price, low to high. And that will show you some items like the gems and things like that. Like, just for instance, those resin dots that we used tonight. I threw them over here. These resin dots. Whoops, the lighting's not gonna, there it goes. Those are on sale for $6.40, marked down from $8. So those are the kind of things, and those are the in colors that have a whole nother year to go. And yeah, so you'll be able to use them for sure. so that's it for this week. I hope you liked the episode tonight, and be sure to visit my Facebook page, Backyard Stamper Craft Along, and post your pictures of what you've made crafting with your stash. I'd love to see what you're making. And if you can help me out by giving me a thumbs up and share my video, that would I would really appreciate it. I'm still growing my channel, and you know, it's just fun to watch it grow. So, but I do need help to do that. Anyway, so that's it for tonight. Take care. I hope you have a great week, and I will be back.